Coppola, a 6 lineup. Like we're going to run down the starting lineups for you first. The visiting team in our first matchup will be the 6-seeded Chapmanville Regional Tigers, coached by Alan Hatcher. They come in with a record of 20-5, and their starting lineup will look this way. Brady Cox, a 6'5 senior, will be at center. Kenny Plumley, 6'4 senior, at forward. Trey Dalton, 5'9 junior. Zach Casto, 6'4 junior, at guard. And Josh Butcher, a 6'1 junior, at guard for the Tigers. For Bluefield, the home team, the defending state champions in Class AA, Coach Buster Large's team, 22-2, line up like this. LaKale Collier, a 5'11 senior guard. Anthony Eads, a 6'3 senior guard. DJ Edwards, a 6'2 forward, also a senior. Michael Yost, a 6'3 senior at forward. And Corey Coppola, a 6'4 junior in the middle. And Greg Miller, this should be a great matchup here. Defending champion Bluefield and the Chapmanville Tigers.
Yeah, both teams come into this game with 20-win seasons, so they've done the things that they need to get here. Chapmanville has an 8-game winning streak. Bluefield's on a 15-game winning streak. They haven't lost since the middle of January to Westside, so it should be a good matchup.
Exactly. Chapmanville controls the opening tip, and Trey Dalton will run the point for the Tigers. And Josh Butcher, someone to keep an eye on, 17 points a game for the 6'1 junior. And the first foul will go against Bluefield. And David Edwards. And Chapmanville out in front quickly, 2-0. And Bluefield back on the offense. And that's Collier out front. Left wing, long three on the way, no good. Rebound pulled down by Chapmanville's Kenny Plumley. Here come the Tigers. Chapmanville up 2-0 in the early going here. Again, Rick Marone, Greg Miller. Appreciate you being with us here on the NFHS Network. Bluefield really applying big-time pressure. Ball over on that left wing to Casto. And they're going to swing it back out to Dalton. And Greg, controlling tempo, probably a priority for Chapmanville.
Yeah, they're going to have to slow this down. Bluefield will want to get up and down the floor and play really good pressure defense like they are right now.
Three-pointer on the way from Butcher, comes up short, and here come the Beavers into the front court. A running one-hander, no good for Collier, and the ball batted around and pulled out of there by Butcher. Here come the Tigers, fast and furious early. Chapmanville 2, Bluefield 0, 6:45 on a rolling clock as Butcher's trapped out at midcourt. Butcher over on the near side. That was actually Dalton out there in the double team. Kicks it over to the right wing to Casto. He looks inside to Butcher, and that ball's going to be stolen away by Eads. Here comes Anthony Eads into the front court. And Eads' jumper is good. Anthony Eads, tell you what, Greg, a lot of seniors on this Bluefield team. They were champions last year in AA, runner-up the year before. A lot of experience for Bluefield. Yeah, the experience is going to show. Right, they're doing a really good job putting a lot of pressure on defense, and like they have all year to a lot of teams, and they're creating some turnovers, allowing only one shot early. Chapmanville's struggling to find something on offense right now. Yeah, Butcher trying to find Cox down on that low block. The pass a little too tall for him, and Bluefield to take over on the Chapmanville turnover and bring it back into the front court. Collier into the front court, over to the left side to Yost. Back out to Collier. We'll set the offense. Tell you what, Chapmanville in a combo defense there. Looks like they're kind of zoning up on the inside. Going to try and get pressure on those shooters on the perimeter. And Yost has a wide open three, and it's going to be long. Rebound out to Dalton. 5:30 on a rolling clock. It's Chapmanville 2, Bluefield 2. Again, appreciate you dialing us up on the NFHSnetwork.com, watching live high school action all day long. Chapmanville on the offense, trapped in another turnover. Here come the Beavers. And tell you what, Collier gets the easy two, but the defense really triggers that and gets the Beavers into that press that they want to do here early. Yeah, turnovers are going to be a big key in this game. Chapmanville's going to have to settle down and play. It's the first time they've ever been here, so, there's a lot of things going on in their minds, little nervousness. It's a hard gym to shoot in, so they're going to have to settle down and play. And I tell you, Cox tried to reverse the ball there to Butcher. He didn't get completely across the half court, so that's another turnover. 3 turnovers here in the early going on Chapmanville, and we have Chapmanville, their first trip ever to the state tournament, so there's going to be some jitters, excitement, a huge crowd here from Chapmanville to support the Tigers.
Yeah, I think all of Logan County is here today.
They're trying to get settled in, and Collier out there on the right wing. He's going to take it himself. No good off the board. And rebound there for Plumlee for the Tigers. Chapmanville back into the front court. They trail 4-2 Bluefield. Dalton into Plumlee. He's going to be double-teamed. Knifes through there. Tries to drop it off to Cox. And, Greg, I tell you, Plumlee maybe had an opportunity to go on up with it. He tried to make the extra pass, and the ball goes out of bounds to Bluefield.
Yeah, he was open right there and probably should have taken that, but he felt a little bit of pressure. Tried to dump it off because he thought the defender was going to come over on the help side, and he didn't. The defender didn't move, and so he ended up turning the ball over.
And Bluefield back on the offense. Collier runs the point for the Beavers. And, again, Chapmanville kind of mixing up their defense. There comes Anthony Eads. He drives down, really escapes a double team, back out top to Collier. He's going to try and go one-on-one. Nothing there. Yost left wing. Penetrates, has it batted away. Edwards off balance shot, no good, and another rebound for Brady Cox. And here come the Tigers. Again, 3:45 on a rolling clock. Rick Marone, Greg Miller with you here from the Charleston Civic Center Coliseum. The ball batted around. Good hustle play there for Coppola for Bluefield, and we're going to have our first timeout of the game, and we're going to keep it right here. And, Greg, I tell you what, just to kind of catch our breath here, it's been a lot of action. It's Bluefield 4, Chapmanville 2. And I tell you, as you look at the road to the state tournament for these two teams, Bluefield defeats Mount View and Pikeview in the sectional, 81-31, 76-52 over Pikeview. They defeat Wyoming East, a good Wyoming East team, in the regional, 77-67. That game played in Bluefield. And then you look at Chapmanville. They've been kind of a team of destiny. They defeated Mingo Central by 4, Scott by 1 in the sectional, and then defeated a tough Nicholas County team by 3 in the regional. And the margin of victory for Bluefield, I know you did a little calculating there. They've really been rolling.
Yeah, they averaged their wins in the sectional and regional were 38 points per game, and Chapmanville was about 3. So, on paper you would expect potential for a blowout here, but what Chapmanville is doing right now is they're playing really good half-court defense. They're only giving Bluefield one shot, and they're forcing bad shots on the defensive end. The transition is where they're having some problems right now, getting the ball up the floor against Bluefield's defense.
Well, and Greg, just to talk about the point, I mean, Alan Hatcher, even though this Chapmanville team has never been here, Alan Hatcher, not a stranger here. He's got a state championship pedigree with Williamson. He's also been a very successful coach in Kentucky as well. Chapmanville back on offense, going to trigger it in. Dalton over to Butcher, back to Dalton, back to Butcher. Bluefield in that zone defense, and Chapmanville, good ball movement. Butcher, the outside sharpshooter for Chapmanville on that right wing. He's going to get a lot of attention from Bluefield. Into the post to Plumlee, and there's Butcher. Let's fly with the 3, and it's going to be long. Offensive rebound up and no good. And that rebound pulled out of there by Coppola, and Bluefield right back on the offense. The ball's batted away by Plumlee. A good second chance for Casto, unable to convert. And again, as we close in on the 3-minute mark, it's Bluefield 4-2 as they trigger it underneath on their own basket. And Collier will inbounds the ball to Yost and then get it back to reset the offense. And really tight defense, particularly on Eads on that far side. I think the scouting report is obviously being followed by the Tigers.
Yeah, the defense is doing a really good job. They just need to settle down offensively. They're doing the right things. Transition defense that time was good. So, if they'll settle down and score a couple buckets here, they've got the lead.
Yeah, Coppola misses. Yost gets the offensive board, and there comes Collier creating offense. And, Eads is the outside threat, but, Collier, a great scorer as well. He averages over 12 points a game, and you can see how he can create offense with his penetration.
Yeah, it's almost like a Kentucky dribble drive type situation where he's going to try to penetrate, dump it out to the three-point shooters, or take the shot himself.
And Collier's first one is up, and it's good. He's got 3 points in the contest. And he'll get a second shot. Bluefield up 5-2 here in the first quarter. Rick Marone, Greg Miller with you. Glad you've joined us here from the Charleston Civic Center Coliseum. The second one on the way for Collier. It's good as well. And the Bluefield lead is 4 at 6-2 as they get right into that diamond press. Chapmanville inbounds the ball, tries to swing the ball, and it's going to be picked off by Anthony Eads, and he drops it in for his 4th point of the first half. Into Butcher, back to Dalton. And that Bluefield defense just relentless. Up into the front court. Chapmanville breaks the pressure. Gets it down inside to Plumlee and back out to Dalton. He's going to let fly with the three, and it's short. And rebound off to Coppola. Here come the Beavers. Collier gets all the way to the rim and drops it in. And good timeout there from Alan Hatcher. Tell you what, you can see some of the jitters. And this Bluefield team, again, a very seasoned ball club. When you start 4 seniors and a junior that were a part of that championship team last year, they know how to go after teams, particularly early in games. Greg, you mentioned the amount of point differential in this Bluefield's games, and when they get a team behind the 8 ball, they know how to go for the jugular, if you will.
Yeah, they know how to finish a game, and so the pressure's starting to really mount on Chapmanville right now. They're going to have to settle down. A couple chances that they had in the offense early, they had a couple good looks, and they passed them up or maybe rushed a shot when they should have made an extra pass. So it's just a matter of them finding their timing, but they're going to have to do it soon because now they're down 8.
Yeah, I tell you what, Bluefield, again, over 73, 74 points a game, allowing less than 50 a game. So their differential for the whole year is over 20 points. So just a tremendous team on both ends of the court. And that press, again, effective even when not getting the turnover. Forcing quick shots, but Josh Butcher knocks it down, and that's the guy they're going to have to count on, averaging over 17 a game for the Tigers. Here comes Bluefield. Yost back into Edwards. Takes it hard, and he's rejected in there on the inside by Plumlee. And back out front to Collier. It's 10-4 Bluefield. Minute 30 to go. Eads out top. Trying to use a screen from Coppola. Back out to Collier. Yost on that left wing. Nice drop off. Coppola misses, but gets his own rebound, and he's going to be blocked. And the ball goes back to Bluefield. I tell you, Chapmanville, really got to lock up those rebounds. You don't want to give Bluefield extra opportunities. That's 3 times they've had second chances.
Yeah, they were in a 1-3 chaser that time, and they were in position to get the rebound. They just couldn't get their hands on it.
There's Eads. He inbounds and steps in on the right wing, unable to convert. Rebound pulled down by Brady Cox. Butcher, long 3 on the way, and it's good. Josh Butcher hits the 3-pointer. It's 10-7 Bluefield, and this ignites the Chapmanville crowd, and Edwards right back on the other end going to score and draw the foul. Tell you what, Chapmanville has a reason to get on their feet, but you cannot hesitate getting back, and Bluefield right back on the attack.
And that's where Bluefield's, really putting the pressure on Chapmanville's in transition, and Chapmanville's going to have to get back on defense, and they're not doing a very good job of that right now.
So Edwards will go to the foul line. He's got 2 points here in the first quarter. It's 12-7 Bluefield, and Edwards a chance to extend that lead. He'll have 1 shot. It's on the way and good. It's his 3rd point. And substitutes coming in for Bluefield here at the end of the first quarter. Dakota Smalls in there. And again, that diamond press also in Jordan Ponder in there for the Beavers. And Butcher and Dalton trying to deal with that. And Butcher walked there, drug his foot, Greg. And sometimes the pressure, some of it's perceived pressure, and Chapmanville really getting hurried.
Yeah, when you get the heat turned up on you, sometimes you make mistakes that are more mental than physical, and that was one of those situations, where he drug his foot, or you get them in a tempo that they don't want to play in, and we're seeing Chapmanville in a little more a quicker tempo maybe than they want to play in right now.
Here come the Beavers inbound to Eads. Floater and good. Anthony Eads, his 6th point of the first quarter, and again Bluefield in that diamond press. And trying to get the ball advanced, and Joe Tackett in there for Chapmanville out at midcourt. And with the deflection out of bounds, Bluefield going to drop back into their half-court defense. And we got 25 seconds, clock rolling first quarter. Bluefield with an 8-point lead here, and Chapmanville appears to be content to go for the last shot of the quarter. Dalton out there calling out the signal. Down to 12 seconds. And looks like a box and one possibly for Bluefield. Definitely a chaser on Butcher. And he's going to get the last shot. Separates, lets fly, no good. And going to have a whistle here on the near side.
It's me on Bluefield.
Yeah, it looks like Ponder got that foul for the Beavers. Their second, his first. And that brings Yost back into the game for Bluefield. 1.2 seconds. Quick inbounds up and no good. Plumlee had a point-blank shot there for Chapmanville that bounces in and out. And we've come to the end of the first quarter here from Charleston. It's Bluefield 15 and Chapmanville 7. We're going to step aside and take a quick break. You're watching the WVSSAC State Boys Basketball Tournament on the NFHSnetwork.com. And welcome back. Charleston Civic Center Coliseum. Rick Marone, Greg Miller with you. Remember tonight's game, today's games, all the games today are available live and on demand. Call and text your family and friends to enjoy the action now at NFHSnetwork.com. And Greg, a great thing NFHS is doing here, bringing all the games to folks that maybe can't physically get here but can still enjoy the state tournament.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity for, parents, grandparents who live out of the area and don't have a chance to get here to see their kids play, and people in the community that are at work right now can be watching this game, cheating a little bit on the internet when they're probably supposed to be working. So
Yost with the stick back there for Bluefield. That leads out to 10, 17-7 for the Beavers. Yost with his first 2 points. And long three on the way for Tackett. No good. Cox gets the rebound, resets it out with Dalton. And he tries to penetrate and has the ball batted away. Several packages available. You can get a day pass. You can also get a 30-day pass, and that's going to open up any activities for you on NFHSnetwork.com. You can enjoy all those, the games that are archived, go back and watch games. Just a great opportunity to enjoy high school sports for high school sports fans. And Chapmanville trying to chip into that Bluefield lead at 17-7 Bluefield. Just at the start of the second quarter here. Butcher, three on the way, and good.
Did a good job running him underneath the zone right there. Bluefield was in a 2-3, kind of letting him slide underneath the zone, get to the three-point line, get a nice shot.
Yeah, Butcher knocks it down. That lead is 7 for Bluefield. Eads on the right wing. He's going one-on-one. Jumper on the way. Good. Tell you what, nothing really, I don't want to say nothing fancy, but get it to Eads, get it to Collier, let them create, and then the points start to flow for you. Chapmanville attacking that press.
It's easy to coach when you have two players like that you can go to,
Here come the Beavers. Another turnover for Chapmanville. Eads his threes on the way. No good. Ball batted around. And it's going to go to Chapmanville. That ball off of Matthew Woodrum as they went for the rebound. And a few of the fans didn't agree, but appeared to be a pretty good call there. Both of them going for it, playing hard. Chapmanville inbounding against the press again. Plumlee over to Butcher, back to Dalton, and he's looking up the floor to Cox. And Cox with the runner, no good, and that's going to be a foul on Eads as he goes over the back of Zach Casto. And Chapmanville's getting a few shots in there around the bucket, and you really need to convert those if you're going to hang in there with Bluefield.
There was 2 shots in the first quarter that they missed that were right under the basket. One right at the end of the quarter, one early. That's 4 points, and it's a 5-point game. Now that one would have cut it to 3. So, yeah, you got to make those easy give-me shots when you get a chance.
Plumlee tries to split the double team, corrals the loose ball, and then goes up with it and draws the foul. So off the inbounds, Kenny Plumlee does a good job. Great effort there trying to create something for the Tigers as they trail by 9 to Bluefield, and Plumlee will get a chance to get 2 free ones at the foul line. First one on the way, rattles around, no good. He'll get a second. Another substitute coming back in for Bluefield. Actually, Corey Coppola, who started the game, he'll come in for Matthew Woodrum. And Bluefield has a rotation and keeps some fresh bodies in there, and they really play at a high level for the entire game.
And that will probably wear on Chapmanville as the game goes along, because Chapmanville stays pretty much with their starters, maybe 1 or 2 subs off the bench, but they're going to stay with those 5 most of the game.
Yeah, Collier lets fly with the 3. No good for Bluefield. Here comes Chapmanville. Josh Butcher. Couple 2 threes already. Let's fly with another one. It's no good. Plumlee battles hard and gets a rebound. Going to be fouled on the floor. And, Greg, if you're Chapmanville, if shots don't fall, you really got to find other ways to get points, and one of those is the offensive rebound.
Yeah, neither team, probably together don't have 5 offensive rebounds. Both teams are playing really good half-court defense right now, not giving a lot of second chances, so Chapmanville's going to take advantage of those when they get them.
Ball inbounded to Dalton. Over to Casto to Dalton. Tigers looking to attack that matchup zone of Bluefield. Bluefield really extends well out of that matchup zone, and Chapmanville trying to get some ball movement with Dalton, and Plumlee in the paint again, and he mishandles it and is taken away by Collier, and there's going to be a reach on Chapmanville.
Which is probably not a bad foul because Bluefield was out on the break right there.
Yeah, Bluefield goes from defense to offense about as fast as anybody you're going to see, and that's a sign of a great team because it really creates early opportunities to score, and many times they're relatively easy opportunities just because of that effort. Bluefield back on the offense. Collier running the point for the Beavers. They lead 19-10. 5:15 to go in the first quarter. Yost out top. Again, Eads got a chaser on him. Butcher's chasing him, and he goes up over the top, misses the jumper. Plumlee pulls down the rebound for the Tigers. Plumlee over to Casto. Back out to Butcher. He's looking for a screen out top, and he's going to get it. Bluefield really does a good job helping and recovering, so he doesn't get any open looks. He's double teamed. Finds Plumlee. Back out top to Dalton. And another turnover for Chapmanville, and here comes Collier. And he's going to get another easy 2, and that's 8 points for LaKale Collier here in the early going. It's 21-10 Bluefield. And the downside of that Bluefield basket allows him to get right back into that press if you're Chapmanville, because you got to face the teeth of that Beaver defense. And another turnover. Brady Cox tried to corral that long pass. He was unable to do so, and it goes out of bounds back to Bluefield.
Bluefield moves so well in that press, and it's they're in the right spots on the floor. They do a good job reading that long pass, and you're not going to get an opportunity to do that very often.
Bluefield back on the offense. Yost back out to Collier. He's working on Dalton. Dumps it down to Edwards. He gets to the rim. Bucket and a foul. And really a nice decision there from Collier. He got into the lane, didn't force things, let it develop, drops it off to Edwards for an easy bucket. We're going to step aside and take a break. It's Bluefield 23, Chapmanville 10. You're listening to high school basketball on the NFHS Network. And welcome back, Charleston Civic Center Coliseum. Rick Marone, Greg Miller, glad to have you with us, joining us for this morning's session of the West Virginia Secondary Schools Activities Commission Boys State Basketball Tournament. Class AA, the flavor of the day, Greg, 4 quarterfinals today, 2 AAA games. We'll get into the schedule in just a bit, but this first one here, Bluefield and Chapmanville, great atmosphere, great action, and Bluefield really taking control early.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job on defense. They're getting transition buckets. The pressure is really hurting Chapmanville. They miss a foul shot, they're right back into the press.
Yeah, Edwards missed the free throw, but Bluefield able to get into the press off a missed shot. That's something not easy to do. Chapmanville and Butcher lets fly with a long 3, and it's good.
He shot that one from the town center, I think.
Josh Butcher, long 3, and that cuts the lead down to 23-13. A missed runner on the other end for Bluefield, and Chapmanville back on the offense with Dalton at the trigger. Butcher on the right wing, and he's looking for offense. Nice drop off there. Again, no good for Cox. Bluefield with the rebound. And Collier, a no-look pass, trying to go inside to Coppola, and I think got on him before he realized the ball was there. It was such a nice pass from Collier.
On the Chapmanville end, that's 4 really nice shots they've had on the basket that they've missed, and if they make those, it's 23-21. So that's really, those inside shots have really made a difference in this game.
Yeah, Bluefield changing their press up. They're in a man press now with a free man on the back. So once Chapmanville gets it in, they're able to kind of walk it up and get into some offense, a chance to cut into this Bluefield lead here before halftime. We're inside of 3 minutes. Plumlee got the ball. Butcher coming off that weak side screen with defense on him. Jumper's no good. And Casto, nice hustle into the corner. There's that offensive rebound you were talking about, Greg.
And they've been few and far between, but, they get the second opportunity to score right here. But Bluefield's pressure is just amazing.
Yeah, turnover. Edwards to Collier, and he's going to be fouled. And he'll go to the line for 2, and Collier has 8 points here in the first half, and he's kind of the engine that makes the Beavers go. But Edwards, great anticipation. He stepped into the passing line after the double team was created there for Bluefield.
Yeah, the trapping defense led to a bad pass, easy transition bucket, potentially easy bucket. He's going to end up probably with 2 shots. He makes the first one.
Collier drops the first one in for Bluefield. Into the game for Chapmanville's John Williamson. And again, Chapmanville going a little deeper into their bench. You mentioned that depth of Bluefield just really wears on you. Collier eyes that second one up and good.
So he has 10 points now for the game, and all 10 of those points have been created in transition, I think.
Yeah, and here comes the Bluefield press again in the man press now. They've been mixing it up between the man and the diamond press. Chapmanville handles that pretty easily, and Dalton's into the midcourt area, tries a long pass. It's deflected, and Casto again with the steal, and then turns it right back over to Eads, and he's going to step out of bounds and turn it back over. So, great hustle play from Casto, but Bluefield really anticipates the passing line, Greg. A lot of times people will sit and see where they need to be to get in the line. They don't get there. Bluefield not only sees it, but they're almost one step ahead on those passes.
Yeah. I mean, you look at what they were doing. Collier there, he read the pass coming across and moved all the way across the floor to have a chance to intercept it. Of course, the ball went the other direction that time.
Here come the Tigers on offense. Casto out top. Butcher trying to get some screening help off that weak side, and Bluefield double teams the ball. Casto gets it out the top. Back to Plumlee, and this Bluefield defense kind of gets you out of sync. I mean, it's hard to run really your base offense because they get you out of your space so much.
Chapmanville starting their offense from almost half court, and the post players are having to come out so far to get the ball that they can't get any flow in the offense at all.
And substitute Brady Cox coming back in. This time he'll substitute for Kenny Plumlee, trying to keep the big players fresh. Got another sub coming in. Joe Tackett returning to the game. Played a little bit early. He's getting John Williamson out there. Coach Alan Hatcher trying to kind of save some legs there. He knows there's a lot of basketball left. Dalton tries to inbound. That's going to be a foul on Corey Coppola. And that'll be the 6th team foul on Bluefield. That's his second. And next foul, of course, will put Chapmanville into the 1-1. And Tackett's going to trigger it in for Chapmanville. It's 25-13 Bluefield, enjoying a 12-point lead here with 1:45 to go in the first quarter. Dalton over there in the double team trying to get it out of there, and he gets called for the walk, and Alan Hatcher is not happy, and he's out of the box. So the official kind of guiding him back to the coach's box. And tell you what, got to be frustrating for him, but give credit to Bluefield's defense as well. They're really doing a great job of pressuring Chapmanville. Eads with the three on the way and good. So smooth, so in sync. He knows where his shots come, and he's a very confident shooter as Anthony Eads. And that's going back to Bluefield. I tell you, Eads, 11 points in the first half, and he can pretty much get his shot anytime he wants, Greg.
And it's really kind of a quiet 11 points, too. It's just, like you said, he picks his shots, he takes good shots, and the 11 points just kind of snuck up on Chapmanville.
Yeah, Bluefield triggers it in to Eads, and he's out top, and he lets fly with another three, and it's off to the right. Offensive board up, good, and the foul for Matthew Woodrum. And Woodrum does a great job getting to the glass, but, gets to the glass and then under control goes back up and gets a finish and a foul. And tell you what, Chapmanville, really, it's one of those things where things start to kind of snowball against you against a quality opponent.
Yeah, and now they've opened up a 17-point lead with a minute left to go in the half, potentially 18 right here if he makes a foul shot. So the game is definitely getting out of control. I don't know what Chapmanville's going to have to do. They're struggling in their half-court offense now. They have the whole game. They can't get the ball, push the ball up the floor.
Edwards pulled the offensive rebound, and Eads missed the jumper and rattled around, and we've got a foul on Bluefield. That's going on number 2, Dakota Smalls, and that should be a 1-and-1 for Chapmanville. So one of the ways to maybe chip into that lead is to get to the foul line. But as aggressive as Bluefield's defense, Greg, the bonus only comes with 1:04 to go for Chapmanville. You see a lot of teams that try and pressure and foul a lot. Bluefield not one of those teams.
No, they're guys who are in the trap. They get their hands up. They're not slapping at the ball. They're getting the steals off the passing. And so when you do that, you're not going to get a lot of fouls.
And Plumlee misses the first free throw. He's 0 for 3 at the line. Here come the Beavers. Collier penetrates off the glass, good. 32-13 Bluefield. Chapmanville trying to get through that Bluefield press. Ball goes to Butcher. He's double teamed up into the front court to Tackett. Butcher off that right wing has an open three, no good. Rebound to Collier, and Butcher hustles in there and gets it back. Tries to get it out of there. And we've got a scrum out there with the ball all over the floor. And finally Anthony Eads has got it. And he goes to Edwards on the right wing, and he kicks it out to Collier with 18 seconds. I say the same thing. 10 seconds for Bluefield. They're going to go for the last shot here in the first half. Eads back out to Collier. Spin move, drops it off. Extra pass made, and going to be actually out of bounds on Chapmanville. So Bluefield will get the ball underneath their basket, 2.3 seconds to go. 19-point lead for the Beavers. And Collier will trigger it in for Bluefield. Lobs it up to Woodrum. Turnaround on the way and good. So Matthew Woodrum puts a capper on the first half for Bluefield. And an impressive performance. And, Greg, it was just rather methodical. I mean, big-time pressure. This is Bluefield's style. This is not something that they put in to the game plan because of the opponent. They're going to come out and challenge everybody they play with their defense, with their explosive offense. And I tell you what, very impressive here in the first half.
Yeah, they're making a statement here that they're back and they're going to make a run deep. It's going to be interesting to see what happens on Friday if Poco happens to win, because Poco is another one of those teams that plays phenomenal defense. We may have like a 10-8 game or something on Friday in this two matchup, because Poco will, hopefully will be able to play with Bluefield's pressure. We'll see what happens with them later today. Chapmanville's had some opportunities early. They missed some inside shots, probably 10 or 12 points inside the paint that would have made it a lot better game. And they just, I don't know if it was nerves in the first half. It's hard to shoot here a little bit, but they had their opportunities and didn't take advantage of them.
Yeah, and for Bluefield here in the first half, LaKel Collier 12 points and Eads 11 points. So those are the leading scorers coming in, and you can see why. They score in a variety of ways, but they put up 19 points, did the Beavers in the second quarter. And as you mentioned, a lot of that triggered off their transition defense. Offense coming off of defense is kind of the name of the game for the Beavers. They do a great job pressuring all over the floor. And I tell you what, they're going to be a handful for anybody. They've got a 34-13 lead. I want to remind folks, this morning's session jam-packed for you here on NFHSnetwork.com. Again, it's AA quarterfinal day. We've got Bluefield, Chapmanville in our first game. We sandwich in a nice AAA matchup, South Charleston and Hurricane, that game at 11:15. And then our second AA quarterfinal at 1 o'clock. We get a chance to see that before-mentioned Polka team that you mentioned take on a very good Fairmont senior team at 1 o'clock.
Huge. And
he spins into traffic, and he's going to be stripped by Casto. And Chapmanville probably one of the first transition buckets, and Cox hustling down gets the bucket on the other end.
That was their first transition bucket.
37-17 Bluefield. Yost misses the runner. Edwards pulls it out of there and then turns it over. Here comes Butcher for the Tigers. Dalton, nice move to the bucket, and he finishes at the bucket as well. So 37-19 Bluefield. Chapmanville comes out and puts together a pretty nice little run. 6-3 run to start the third quarter. And Bluefield going to spread things out a little bit. And they're waving Casto out to try and guard Yost. And Bluefield going to get into their offense now with Collier with the ball out top. And Yost just going to hold it, force them to match up. They've got the 18-point lead, and, the onus is on Chapmanville really to come out and force the action.
Yeah, Chapmanville's been setting in a 1-3 chaser or a box and one the whole game and allowing the Bluefield to do whatever they wanted to do. Now Bluefield's forcing the tempo a little bit.
Yeah, Yost missed a shot, batted around. Here comes Butcher. And we've got another call out on the perimeter, and that's going to be the fourth foul on Bluefield here in the third quarter. And that foul is going to go on Michael Yost. That's his second. Again, team foul number 4. Butcher will go to the foul line for Chapmanville. First shot up and good.
And those fouls show a difference in Chapmanville's attitude in the second half. I mean, they went almost the whole first half before they got in the bonus. There was about a minute left to go. Now they've come out, they've forced 4 fouls in the first 3.5 minutes of the game in the second half.
Second free throw on the way from Butcher. It's too hard, and sound like the horn went off over at the table. We'll have to check and see what. After the shot was missed, I think an inadvertent horn. Bluefield controlled the rebound. They'll get the ball, so he missed the second one. It's 37-20 Bluefield. And we've got 4:45 on a rolling clock as the Beavers come back onto the offensive end. And I tell you, Greg, Bluefield kind of slowing things down. You got to think, that could hurt their offensive productivity as well. I mean, Edwards gets to the free throw line there on the penetration, but Bluefield playing smart, controlling some tempo with that big lead, but sometimes it can get you out of sync offensively as well.
Yeah, you see that time and time again, so we'll see what happens here. Of course, they're spreading it out, looking to get some kind of dribble penetration by Collier into the middle, where they haven't had really an opportunity in the first half to do that in a half-court set. So, maybe there's some plan there to maybe get some penetration they didn't get the first half.
Yeah, Edwards misses the first free throw. He'll have the second. And it's a 17-point Beavers lead, 18, as Edwards gets his 6th point of the day. And Bluefield back into that press. Chapmanville handles it well. Butcher over to Dalton. The diagonal pass to Cox. Butcher trying to reverse the ball. He's in a double team there. Really getting tight here. I mean, you can obviously tell that things are getting tighter as far as how it's being called out on the floor. There was a little bit of contact there, and Bluefield gets whistled for their 5th foul in the quarter, and that one's going on Smalls, and that's his 2nd personal. Chapmanville back on the offense. Plumlee will trigger it inbounds. Looking for help, drops it off to Dalton. He's got a lane to the bucket, and he's going to be blocked by Smalls. And loose ball on the floor, and ends up in the hands of Plumlee, and he falls away on one, unable to convert, and Edwards pushes the ball ahead to Collier. And he is pretty well fouled. I don't think it's going to be intentional, but it was as close to intentional as you can. It looked like Cox wrapped him up, going to make him go to the foul line and earn it. And so Brady Cox gets the foul. That's the second foul, and that's actually his 3rd foul. So we'll keep an eye on that, see if Coach Hatcher, trailing by 18, if they allow him to stay in the game, and I think they will. Collier misses the first one. He'll have another one for the Beavers. 4 minutes and 1 second. He hits the second one there. Here in the 3rd quarter, it's Bluefield 39, Chapmanville 20. Tigers back on the offense. Butcher trying to beat the Bluefield press, and that ball deflected out of bounds will stay with Chapmanville. And tough sometimes to dribble through the press. Butcher got half a body through there, but then the ball deflected out of bounds.
Yeah, Bluefield players have really active hands. They're going to back tip anything when it goes by them, and it's hard to dribble through that.
Dalton on the offense. Bluefield man-to-man here in the second half with double teaming opportunities when they arise, and really good rotations on that defense. And there's a double team, and Collier with the steal at midcourt and down for an easy bucket for Raquel Collier. And that stretches the lead back out to 21 for Bluefield. And we're going to step aside and take a short break. It's Bluefield 41, Chapmanville 20. You're watching high school basketball on the NFHSnetwork.com. And back here at the Charleston Civic Center Coliseum, Rick Marone, Greg Miller with you. Remember, you don't ever have to miss another game. Become a subscriber of NFHS Network to watch live coverage, game replays, and highlights of high school sports from around the country. NFHSnetwork.com. Also got Chris Crank with us here, our student intern, doing a great job helping us out. Butch Mounts, our on-site engineer here, doing a great job as well. Here comes Chapmanville back on the offense. Dalton drops it off to Cox. He swarmed at the foul line, back out to Butcher. Bluefield double teaming the ball. Dalton lane to the bucket, and he's going to draw the foul. Good body control there by Dalton, giving up a little bit of size there. Edwards came over to try and get the block. He's going to get the foul, and Dalton, for young players and smaller players, Greg, you can use your body and create fouls even against larger defenders.
He did a good job. And they're taking it to the basket now, where in the first half they didn't. They weren't aggressive going to the basket. Now they know they have to do something to score. It's just every time they make a little run, Bluefield just kind of quietly pushes it back out to 20 points. So they're going to have to solve the transition issue here before too much longer.
Yeah, Dalton hits the second one. He's got 5 points for the game, 5 in the quarter. And we've got a call underneath, away from the basketball. We'll see. That's going to be on Chapmanville. And we'll see who gets whistled for that one. Again, it was away from the ball, and that goes on Chapmanville's Cox. That's his fourth, and that quickly brings a substitute to the table, but unable to get in. The ball inbounds to Woodrum. He's deflected and blocked in there. He tries to kick it out, and he does to Eads. And he lets fly with a contested jumper, hits the top of the backboard. Back batted out into play there to Bluefield. And Collier going to reset the offense. Eads on that right wing. Butcher really playing good, tight defense. Eads, and he got fouled and got the whistle. So Eads will go to the line for two. And Butcher really picking up his defense. He gets whistled for the foul. That's his first. And team foul number 4 for Chapmanville. So Anthony Eads going to the line, yet to score in the second half, had 11 at the break. His first free throw's on the way and good. Collier with 15. Eads now with 12, leading the Beavers. He'll have a second free throw. Again, Cox goes to the bench with his fourth foul as Eads knocks down the second one. For Bluefield, it's 43-21 Beavers. Bluefield back in the full court pressure. Chapmanville handles that and gets it to Butcher for a jump shot, and he knocks it down. Tell you what, you got to find Butcher in transition when they beat the press. Somebody's got to locate Josh Butcher, nice shooter for Chapmanville.
I think it was his first field goal of the second half, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. He had one free throw. That's 3 points in the quarter for Butcher. He had 11 at the break for Chapmanville. Here comes Bluefield on the offense. Eads off the pick, and he's going to be fouled again by Plumley. Kenny Plumley trying to provide some help on the defense. He hedged out off the screen, got some body contact, and Eads going back to the foul line. First shot on the way and good. He will get a second one. Bluefield 44-23 lead over Chapmanville. 2:18 to go here in the third quarter. Eads has a second free throw up and good. Rick Marone, Greg Miller with you here from the Charleston Civic Center Coliseum. Appreciate you joining us on the NFHS Network. Great action all day long here from the Charleston Civic Center Coliseum. 4 AA quarterfinals, 2 AAA quarterfinals to be played today. This is our first one of this early session. Chapmanville trailing Bluefield by 22. Casto with the ball on that right wing. I was going to say maybe got away with the walk, but he didn't get away with it. He kind of drugged that pivot foot, Greg, and good attack move, but didn't finish it with the footwork.
A little icky shuffle there to work things up.
Boy, you're digging deep there. Icky shuffle. Bluefield back on offense. Collier running the point. Eads coming off the screen. Jump shot. Three-pointer on the way. No good. Woodrum battles for the rebound. And he battles hard, gets it back out to Collier. And they'll get another opportunity. Will Bluefield. Collier does a nice job controlling the ball for Bluefield and really getting them into what they need to be in each time down the floor. Coda Smalls there gives it back to Collier. Dalton out front guarding Collier. And a minute 25 clock rolling here in the third quarter. Collier drive, and he's going to be fouled. And that foul goes on Dalton. His first, actually his second personal. That's 6 on Chapmanville. Went 3 or 4 minutes, didn't have any, and now there's 6, so it's 6 apiece for Bluefield and Chapmanville. Bluefield retains possession out top. Collier over to Eads. Behind the back dribble, and he's blocked by Butcher. And here come the Tigers. Butcher down on that left side, and he turns it over to Anthony Eads. And that jump shot in the lane is one of his trademarks, as he really attacks, but great body control and shoots the jumper from the paint. Dalton takes it hard to the basket. No good. Woodrum, there's a scrum in there. And tell you what, Dalton, what a great save. Great save by Dakota Smalls. He lays out, deflects it forward, and Bluefield all over the floor. And, Greg, they're up 24 points, and they look like they're the team fighting from behind.
Yeah, I mean, the aggression that they show on the floor and all the way, even up till now, with at the end of the third quarter, the 24-point lead, they're still aggressive on the floor, still playing hard.
And 20 seconds here. Chapmanville going to get the opportunity to score here before the end of the third quarter. And Tackett over on that left side, he's tied up and drops it off to Plumlee and comes up short on the jumper there in the lane. They push it ahead to Eads, and then he's kind of horse-collared down here on the near side. And, a little bit of action there. Officials step in, and Calmer's head prevailed.
You could call this morning session with this game and the two games coming up Defense Wednesday, I guess, because we're going to see, next game we're going to see a really good defensive team in South Charleston, and the third game we'll see a really good defensive team in Poca. So we'll see some really good defense this morning in these games. Yeah,
Casto gets the foul. That's his third for Zach Casto, and Eads knocks down the first free throw. And I wouldn't say a slow start to the quarter, but Eads hit a couple free throws early. He's now got 7 in the quarter, 18 for the game. His 19th is on the way and good. So Anthony Eads going to get a break, and Coach Large going to get him a little break here, and then he gets the break at the quarter. So Anthony Eads with 19 through 3 quarters. Here comes Chapmanville on the offense. Dalton whips it down court to Tackett. He looks around. Butcher, 3 on the way, no good. And that brings to an end the third quarter. It's Bluefield 49, Chapmanville 23. You're watching high school basketball action on the NFHSnetwork.com. Back to action here at the Charleston Civic Center Coliseum. Rick Marone, Greg Miller with you. Appreciate you joining us on the NFHS Network to enjoy great high school basketball action here from the WVSSAC State Championships here, Class AA on the docket here to start this session. And Bluefield, through 3 quarters, 49-23 lead over Chapmanville. And Greg, Chapmanville's offense picked it up in the third quarter. They scored 10 points, but Bluefield just continues their efficiency. They have 15 and extend that lead to 49-23.
Yeah, I think efficiency is a good word for their offense. I mean, you kind of, they had a 20-point lead. You kind of look down, you look back up, it's 24. You look down, back up, it's 26. I mean, it's just what they do, and they do it so well, and it's almost quiet points in a lot of ways.
Eads over on that right side. He draws 3 Chapmanville defenders and gets a jump shot up that's pulled out there by Zach Casto. Here comes Chapmanville. They try and push it up ahead to Cox, and the ball got deflected out of bounds, and they're going to converse, and actually an overrule from the trail official. says that Bluefield knocked it out of bounds, and it'll go back to Chapmanville. And Dalton will inbounds. Trey Dalton will inbounds underneath for the Tigers. Drops it in to Cox. He corrals it in the corner and then knocked out. And there's Josh Butcher. Let's fly with a long three. It's going to be short. And DJ Edwards, I tell you, he gets a rebound. They're not going to take it from him. He pulled that out of two Tigers, and very strong play inside by DJ Edwards. Here comes Collier on the offense. He goes to Edwards. He backdoor to Eads, and then the ball stolen away by Casto. So good defense there from the Tigers, and Butcher back on the offense. Crosses over, off-bounce jumper going to be deflected and then pulled out of there for Bluefield by Corey Coppola. And Edwards running the floor well and almost gets an opportunity for a three-point play, but we talked about the defense to offense transition for Bluefield about as good as it gets, and Edwards running the floor well gets an opportunity there, Greg, for some points.
Yeah, it's been this way the whole game, and as the game has progressed, Chapmanville has slowed down. I mean, they're getting a little weary. It's late in the game. Bluefield's still fresh, and so you're starting to see now where all that pressure has had an impact on Chapmanville throughout the game, and it's really starting to show now.
Yeah, Edwards misses the first free throw. He'll get a second. And up and no good. Rebound from Cox, and another inadvertent horn from the table, but play on is the word from the officials. So Chapmanville back on the offense. Looking inside for Cox, and it's deflected and stolen away by Collier. LaKale Collier running the show for the Beavers, and he's going to set things up for Bluefield on the offense. Yost on that left wing looks inside. Nothing doing there. DJ Edwards reverses the ball back to Collier, and they drop it down inside to Coppola, and he's fouled before he can get the ball up towards the basket. That foul going to come on the floor will still be the bonus, and that's Cox's fifth foul, so he'll be done. The 6'5 senior for Chapmanville came in averaging 10 points a game. He had 4 in the game, and not for lack of effort. I tell you, Brady Cox, a big reason the Tigers are here in the state tournament, Greg, and he's going out to a big round of applause from the Tiger faithful.
Yeah, and there's a lot of fans here, and they're standing on, a lot of them are standing on their feet for him, and it's good to see the community support that Chapmanville has today, because they brought the buses. There's a lot of people here.
Yeah, huge crowd here. Great crowd for this session. And Chapmanville, you mentioned earlier, the town of Chapmanville may be somewhat vacant this morning. I think everyone's here supporting the Tigers. And the first shot is on the way, and Coppola hits that. That's his first point of the game, and he'll get a second one. Stretches the lead out to 50-23 for Bluefield. 6:21 to go. Coppola's second one on the way, no good. He darts in there to try and get his own rebound, and for his effort, he gets the foul called. So, good hustle play, but that will be his fourth foul. And the long journey to the other end will take place, and Casto will go to the line for Chapmanville, and he'll have a 1-and-1 on the other end. Rick Marone, Greg Miller here with you, bringing you high school action here from the Charleston Civic Center Coliseum. Casto lets the first one fly, no good. Batted around Edwards, another rebound for Bluefield. And Edwards had 3 rebounds at the half, and he's put quite a few more onto that total. Yost unable to handle the pass. It goes out of bounds on the near side. It'll go over to Chapmanville. And Coach Alan Hatcher sends Tackett back in for Chapmanville. Joe Tackett giving him some good minutes. He's back in there for the Tigers. 6:08 to go, 50-23 Bluefield over Chapmanville. Appreciate you joining us here on the NFHS Network. Millions of athletes, thousands of games, one destination, the NFHS Network. Your place to get all the action. Turnover for Chapmanville. Collier comes out there with it and back on the offense for Bluefield. And Bluefield going to slow it down a bit. 5:40 on a rolling clock. Eads over on that right wing. He's working on Butcher. Edwards out top to Collier on the reversal. Coppola gets it. Reached in and batted away, batted around, and then Chapmanville's got it out to Dalton. Here come the Tigers on the offense. And Dalton drives, left-handed shot, no good. Rebound up and good for Plumlee. His first points of the game came in averaging over 12 points a game. Kenny Plumlee working hard in there, gets the stick back there. Trevor Nagy had a nice rebound on this near end down here. Lob up for Edwards. He goes up and gets it, but unable to score. He's back behind the backboard and drops it off to Eads. And got a timeout from Coach Buster Large for Bluefield. And we'll keep it right here, Greg. It's 50-25, Bluefield over Chapmanville. We got 4:57 to go in the fourth quarter. And your overall thoughts of this Bluefield team here through 3 quarters and almost a half?
Well, if you're Polka and Fairmont Senior setting up there somewhere in the crowd scouting this game, you have to be scratching your head trying to figure out what you're going to do offensively against this Beaver defense, because these guys, I mean, they really crank up the heat. They do it well. They move well, and they don't foul a lot in that. So they will trap you. They will stop the ball and create those turnovers, making you make the passes because they read those passing lanes so well. And so it's going to be difficult for whoever they play next to get any kind of offense started, just like it's been a problem for Chapmanville all day. The key, I guess, is going to be aggression. If you're aggressive offensively and take the ball at them, that's the best opportunity you have. You're not going to be able to run a lot of motion offense and crank the ball over and over and over again and expect to get anything because they play such good defense.
Yeah, and really do a good job getting teams out of their normal spacing, and makes it difficult for timing, and everything's disrupted, and that's what they rely on. You mentioned 21 points at the half off of turnovers for Bluefield. A huge stat in this Bluefield offense is their defensive efficiency as well. Remember, you're watching the WVSSAC coverage of the 2014 West Virginia Boys State Basketball Tournament on the NFHS Network. Go to NFHSnetwork.com to watch live coverage, game replays, and highlights of all the action. And appreciate you joining us again today. Rick Marone, Greg Miller here, Bluefield on the offense. And Eads gets the ball, goes to the floor, and going to be tied up for a held ball, and that will go to Chapmanville on the possession arrow. So a nice backdoor cut there from Eads, but give Chapmanville credit. Good rotation defensively, forced the held ball.
And they beat him up today. He's been on the floor a lot today, and so he'll be getting bruised up for Friday, feeling good for that game.
And Bluefield bringing the diamond pressure out. That's a 1-2-1-1. And tell you what, Plumlee goes hard to the basket, and he's going to get a chance for a three-point play the old-fashioned way. So Kenny Plumlee goes 3 quarters without scoring, and already has 4 in the quarter, a chance to get his 5th point here. And when you beat that Bluefield press, you got to be aggressive and attack the basket, and Chapmanville started doing that here in the second half. Plumlee free throws up, and it's good. 5 points for Kenny Plumlee. 50-28 Bluefield, 4:30 to go here in the fourth quarter. Collier, hesitation dribble, tries to drop it off to Edwards, and Edwards unable to corral that pass from Collier. It goes out of bounds back to Chapmanville. And Trey Dalton and Josh Butcher back there in the backcourt. Here comes Dalton on the point for the Tigers. Over to Plumlee, back to Dalton, and then he mishandles it out of bounds, and he'll go back to Bluefield. Trying to run a little handoff there, get him a little bump screen to get him some room. But Bluefield going to take possession on the turnover, and Collier will bring it into the front court for the Beavers and Coach Buster Large. They come in 22-2 to this matchup. Eads with that soft jumper off the right side, no good, and Coppola gets the rebound and sticks it in for his 3rd point. And Coppola with 3 points here, and the ball deflected away, and Eads is going to pull it in. Nice pass, nice extra pass for Collier. He gets the bucket, but DJ Edwards, you talk about unselfish play. I thought the pass from Eads was a nice pass, and then you see Edwards make the extra pass, Greg. What does that tell you about any team, not just Bluefield, when you're willing to pass up a pretty good shot for a great shot?
This team, and they are a team. Everybody knows their role on the floor. They have their their jobs, and they all go out there and they do their jobs. And then you get something like that where they have an opportunity to make each other look good, and they try to do that. And so that tells you that they're cohesive, they're together, and they're going to try to go far and play on Saturday.
Yeah, it's all about the team. I think when you have a team that's had as much success, we mentioned Chapmanville, great run this year. The Tigers making their first trip in school history here to the state tournament. Really an exciting story for them, and a great building block for their program. This Bluefield team, steeped in tradition, state championship pedigree that they have. And this group of seniors that they've got have been exceptional. Defending state champions this year, runners up the year before to Tug Valley in Class AA. And, I tell you what, when you get to this point, it's all about the team because it's win and advance. And after today, there'll be 4 AA teams left. Bluefield wants to be one of them, and that's just a sign of a team that gets it.
They're defending state champions, pretty much have everybody back, and they come in as a 3 seed. So that tells you the depth that AA has right now.
Exactly. Chapmanville back on the offense, and Butcher comes off that high handoff, looks for room to get his shot up, and it comes up short, but he follows it and goes for the offense rebound, and it looks like Smalls, he's going to get the foul as the loose ball. Butcher got his hands on it, and then some contact there, and Smalls gets his third. Butcher will go to the line for 1 and 1. First one on the way and good. Josh Butcher, just a junior, so he'll be back with these Tigers next year. He's hits his second one. 16 points for Josh Butcher. And Casto coming back in for the Tigers. He'll get Trevor Nagy a break, and 3:30 to go. It's 54-30 Bluefield. A couple of substitutes in for the Beavers. And Jordan Ponder out there running the point. He's joined in there. Price over on the left wing takes the ball back to Ponder. Jumper on the way and good. Nice jumper for Jordan Ponder. His first 2 points of the game. 56-30 Bluefield. Dalton into the front court to Butcher. He's guarded by Smalls. Back out front to Casto. That ball's reversed over to the left side for Williamson. And jumper on the way for Williamson. He knocks it down. John Williamson, his first 2 points. 56-32 Bluefield. And Ponder over to Smalls, back to Ponder. Nice give and go. A little high on the shot, almost over the backboard, but the Beavers recover. And Price has it out front. He gives it back to Ponder. Price on that left wing, eyes the three, no good. And a rebound batted around and corralled by John Williamson. Here comes Dalton for the Tigers. Smalls on the recovery. He's got Butcher. Butcher lets fly from the left wing, no good. And Price had the rebound, and now he's going to be fouled by Williamson. So John Williamson, a lot of action in there. He gets a bucket for the Tigers. Rebound on the defensive end. Really scrapping on the offensive end down there for the rebound, but ends up getting the foul, and Price will go to the free throw line.
Trying to get his name in the scorebook for the game, and
he got hard. He made it. And Price will go to the line. A double bonus for Bluefield. He'll get 2 shots. First one up and good. That Bluefield lead now 57-32. Second shot on the way. Up and good for Price. Chapmanville on the offense, and Dalton running the point. Done a good job all day for the Tigers. Over to Plumley. And he's going to take the foul line jumper and hit it. Kenny Plumley, 7 points in the quarter, 7 for the game, 58-34 Bluefield. Price comes off the screen, drops it down underneath to Woodrum. Nice spin move on the near side, and bucket good for Huckleberry. Jordan Huckleberry knocks it down for his first 2 points, 60-34 Bluefield. Couple of substitutes at the table for Chapmanville. Ball out front to Butcher. Works the top screen and between the legs. Jumper on the way, no good. Ponder, long rebound. And Price really running the floor well, goes up with it and draws the foul. So no matter who's in there for Bluefield, going to run the floor and attack the rim, and Price going to get a chance to go to the foul line.
Yeah, they're getting these younger guys in the game now to get them some playing time and get a feel for this floor, because this place is hard to play in. It really is. There's so much open space behind the backboard. It's hard for these guys to shoot. Just to get opportunity for these guys, because they're going to be the core of the team next year.
Yeah, Price hits the first free throw. He's got 3 points in the contest. Extends that lead to 61-34. Several subs in for Chapmanville. Coach Hatcher wanting to give all these guys an opportunity to get the experience of playing at the state tournament. And Austin Kirk in there for Chapmanville, joined by Jordan Butcher. And Corey Priest is in there as well. So a lot of new faces in there getting a chance to play on the big floor. Second one, no good. Rebound pulled out there by Kirk. Into the front court for Butcher. He works on Smalls. Jumper on the way, no good. And Huckleberry pulls the rebound, gets it out to Ponder with 50 seconds to go and the clock rolling. Beavers just going to slow it down, up 61-34. Smalls comes off Huckleberry's screen, gives him a nice pass. They're going to get him for the charge, but good execution there on the pick and roll by Smalls and Huckleberry, but he gets called for the offensive foul.
Yeah, you couldn't. I mean, that was perfectly executed. It was beautiful, and he goes in there. Guy has position on him. There's not anything he can do about it. He goes up, but as a pick and rolls go, that's as pretty as one gets, isn't it?
Yeah, nice play there. Butcher's going to come out, gets a well-deserved hugs on the bench over there. Dalton comes out as well, and Trey Dalton, also a junior, 5'9" junior for Chapmanville. So Brady Cox, of course, a senior. Kenny Plumley, a senior, the two post players, but several other players back for Chapmanville next year. 25 seconds on a rolling clock. Ball blocked inside. That was Butcher going to the basket. And here comes Price. And Price has come in and put up 5 points here in the fourth quarter for the Beavers as the clock winds down. 29-point lead for the Beavers. Butcher driving on that far side, and it's rejected out of bounds again. 6 seconds remaining as Bluefield will get a quarterfinal win here against Chapmanville. Impressive win, 63-34 right now. Ball inbounded. So Priest back to Butcher. He drives, puts up a shot that falls no good. And that will bring to a close this first quarterfinal matchup here from the Charleston Civic Center Coliseum. And Greg Miller, I tell you, Bluefield impressive, and the offense was well spread out. You had 17 points for Collier, and we mentioned 19 for Eads, but a lot of contributions from a lot of people for Bluefield. It all starts with defense, but then they're very efficient on offense as well.
They play at an up-tempo, but it's almost like a methodical up-tempo. I mean, everything is executed to perfection all the way through. They're switching of their defenses, their presses. They ran 3 different presses, I think, that we saw today. Everything ran to perfection there. They picked apart the zones. They picked apart the junk defenses. They had an answer for everything that Chapmanville threw out there on the floor. And, even though a lot of their points were in transition, like I said, it was almost like a methodical kind of game for them. Everything, they picked their spots, they made the right pass, did the right thing all the way through the entire game, and it showed on the scoreboard at the end.
Well, this Bluefield team, with their win, will improve their record to 23-2, and they will be in action again Friday, the first game, 9:30. They'll play the winner of Polk at Fairmont Senior. That game coming up at 1 o'clock. Quick rundown on the scoring for you. First for Chapmanville Regional High School, Josh Butcher with 16, 7 for Kenny Plumley, 4 for Brady Cox, 5 for Trey Dalton, and 2 for John Williamson, 34 total for the Tigers. For Bluefield, led by Anthony Eads, is 19, 17 for LaKale Collier, 6 for DJ Edwards, 5 for Yost, 3 for Coppola, 2 for Ponder, 4 for Woodrum, 2 for Huckleberry, and 5 off the bench for Price. in the fourth quarter as Bluefield pulls away early and then maintains and then extends that lead for a 63-34 win over Chapmanville Regional High School. Chapmanville Regional finishes their year at 20-6. Coach Alan Hatcher and his crew, a lot to build on for next year as they get their first tournament trip in school history. And, Greg, that's got to be a special feeling for that program. Obviously a little disappointed today in the outcome, but really a great accomplishment and something to build on in the future.
Yeah, they got good crowd support. Everybody was here to root them on. First trips. You got some kids coming back next year. They'll only build. This is his first year as head coach there, right? Is that right? So he's got things to build on. That they're working in his system now. The future's really bright for them, I think. Second year as a head coach. And so he's got a system in place now. The kids are starting to grow into it. He's bringing kids up through the system. They're only going to get better.
Yeah, I tell you what, a great way to kind of crack open this 2014 State Boys High School Basketball Tournament. We want to remind everyone, to let your friends, family, others know about NFHSnetwork.com. You're watching WVSSAC coverage of the 2014 West Virginia Boys State Basketball Tournament on the NFHS Network. Go to NFHSnetwork.com.
There you go.
And watch live coverage, game replays, and highlights of all the action here from the WVSSAC Boys State Tournament. So with that said, like I said, we've got another great game coming up in about 20 minutes or so. It'll be a AAA matchup between South Charleston and Hurricane. And our final here in Game 1 was Bluefield 63, Chapmanville 34. You're watching high school basketball on the NFHSnetwork.com.